the Bulldozer Matt Tremont, the 8-time Deathmatch Tournament winner, the former 2-time world champion, the owner of H2O Wrestling. And if there is one podcast to listen to, that is the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get ultraviolet, motherfuckers.
And good evening once again, fans. You're listening to the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. They're more than welcome to come on too anytime they want to come on.
Oh man, the girls pop good like this.
All right.
It's a budget thing.
Let's see what he's up to.
Thank you, man, and thank you for giving me the time.
Tune in right now. Well, 'tis the season. Merry Christmas. Wait a minute. Wait, 2 days away, I think? I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the Deathmatch Russell Podcast, and my guest once again, Happy Hour. How the hell are you, buddy?
Great, my friend. So yes, I am currently drinking Deep Obsession from 412 Brewing. It's an IPA, and I am one of the new owners of 412 Brewery. So, I'm being happy hour is not just a gimmick. I'm all about it. I got the beer. I bring the fights. That's what I did at Intergender Bonanza. And
yes, I want to say last time we talked, we were at number 6, and I couldn't attend 7. I was a little bit jealous, but you kicked some ass. I heard. Really, went to town by pounding down those beers too. I heard.
Oh my God. Man, no, it was crazy.
But not only, but this time for the Intergender Bonanza 7, you had a tag team partner.
Yes, actually, before I get to that, DMR, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Yeah, what are you drinking? Let the world know. Let the internet universe know what you're drinking.
I'm drinking a White Claw hard seltzer, black cherry.
All right, so podcast universe, DMR universe. I'm Happy Hour, so it looks like Deathmatch Russell. We'll dub him Amateur Hour. So here we go. We've got Amateur Hour interviewing Happy Hour on the podcast. Here we go.
That was wild.
But I actually had a terrific match. It was me and the American Bombshell, Danny Gray, against the King of Smokes, Frankie Picard, and Sean Henderson. Mm-hmm. So, mind you, Frankie, I'll say this, it was some good times, man. Some good times with Frankie. Though in the latter part of the match, early part of the match, what happened was, he had the cigarettes, I had the beer, and I was like, you know what? Here, Merry Christmas, Frankie, here's a beer. And he offered me a cigarette. And then, we decided to bring chairs into the ring and enjoy some cigarettes and beer. Both of our respective tag partners were not quite into that and kind of dragged us out. And they decided to tag themselves in and get to wrestling. So, after that, we tag in. Frankie and I do our thing. But later in the match, he was eyeing my cooler. I brought a cooler full of beer to the ring. So he was eyeing my cooler, and I was like, dude, I already gave you a beer. Don't you be eyeing the rest of my beers. Those are my beers. I did not offer them to him.
No.
And then he grabbed the cooler and ran out of the building with them. So I chased after him, and I don't exactly remember what happened after that, but my cooler was empty because allegedly Frankie and I drank all the beer. And when we came back in, the match was over, and I have no idea what happened, dude. So all I know is I came back in pretty happy, yet apparently I didn't win.
You got happy, and you well, you know what? Hey, you're happy, and you got carried away. Your drinks we're calling your name. That's your third. You're parched. You guys are parched.
What
are you gonna do?
That's just it. Frankie ran
And,
out
and a bar,
to
and
the
I know.
parking lot way in the back. I caught up to him because it's kind of like the whole premise of a defender always catches up to the guy with the ball, because when you're running and carrying something, you're not running as fast as a guy without anything in hand. So I caught up to him, and he kind of stopped. He handed me a beer from my cooler. I was like, you know what? I am thirsty. So I had a beer. He had a beer. And before you know it, we were both chugging beers. And then we ended up coming back in.
Mm.
And we have no idea what happened. So it is what it is. And
Hey,
that's his life.
what's that? What do they say? What's that in like Vegas? Whatever goes in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Or that
But I don't
saying?
think anybody's ever said whatever happens in Williamstown, New Jersey, stays in
Yes,
Williamstown, New Jersey.
exactly. Because you never know. You never know. You never know what happens in Williamstown, New Jersey. I don't know if that's giving infringement, but we stole it, right?
I don't think it's gimmick infringement. That's really the case.
Yes. But man, you know what? Happy every time you get, every time you step it out, you really do. Every time you're in there for those tournaments, for those bonanzas, it's just like it's a bonanza. You just go bonanza.
Oh no, here, let me tell you this. Intergender Bonanza is a blessing and a
It
gift to
really is.
independent wrestling. It
It
really
is.
is. And I think what's important is that Intergender Bonanza showcases talent differently than your conventional catch as catch can wrestling, because there is a there is a place for all different styles of wrestling. There's a lot of guys out there that will say, no, wrestling is only this way. This textbook way is the only style of wrestling. And you know what? Some of those guys are the people that draw like 25 fans in attendance at $8 a piece. And I'm like, you can't even pay your talent. So, you can't really be sitting there preaching one style is the only style if you're doing that and Intergender Bonanza has 100 fans show up paying 20 to $30 a ticket because they're going to be entertained. In fact, one of the guys,
Right.
one of the people who attended, you know what he outright, I will quote him. In fact, I will name him, Christian Dunn. He has attended the last two Intergender Bonanzas, and
Right.
he said, this is what he said. He said, you know what? Between the beginning and intermission, I thought I got my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after that was gravy to him. So the fact that he said he felt I mean, it was $30 to
Absolutely.
attend, and
Yeah.
he said he got his money's worth by intermission. And when a fan says they get their money's worth by intermission, you've overachieved. You've overachieved, and you've given the fans an incredible value.
Mm-hmm.
And Stan is such an entertainer. I mean, don't get me wrong, look at him. He's super ripped, but he is an excellent entertainer. And that's what you get with a lot of the people, a lot of
Absolutely.
the wrestlers who are on the show. You get great entertainment. I
Mm.
mean, the finish with Chandita. Chandita is great. Sean's
Chandita.
great.
Like
The runway is great. I've
Chandita.
been on plenty of shows with the runway. I know
Yeah.
Calvin and Tyler. In fact, I
Yes.
wrestled Tyler
Right.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
He's a very, very talented wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And, Tara Calloway, Jeff Cannonball, was super entertaining. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, top to bottom, the show, there's a lot of entertainment value. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think that's really important. Sean Henderson, he is an excellent
Absolutely.
wrestler. Sean
He is.
Henderson, in my opinion, here's the thing. I feel like Sean Henderson is going to be underrated for a bit until somebody cuts him a break. Sean Henderson is good at what he does. He is
Mm-hmm.
someone that, you know what, I would be happy to be in the ring with him anytime, anywhere, because
Because
I
he
feel
listens.
like
He listens. He learns. He learns from. He learns.
he takes his
Yeah.
craft seriously, and he is all about doing the right things and being a professional. That I feel like at some point he is going to get his just due, because he deserves even more than he's getting right now. He is that good, in my opinion.
Right.
The American bombshell Danny Gray. She has a terrific look. If I understand correctly, she's being trained by, or she was trained by Facade and Danny Moe. She
Mm.
also received some
Two,
training from Johnny
two.
Patch. I've been on a couple of
Wow.
shows with Johnny Patch. Johnny Patch is excellent. The dude is really good.
Yeah. Facade
So
is good too. And Danny, don't forget. Oh my God.
yeah, and here's the thing, just in general, when I'm on podcasts and I really get into talking about indie wrestling, I like to spend a lot of time not talking about myself, but talking about a
No.
lot of the talent out there that are not getting as much recognition as they deserve, or talent out there that is one break away from really showing what
I'm
they've
stripping.
got. And
This hot. I got to take this damn hat. It's too fucking hot. Sorry.
well, I mean, I'm getting close to 50. I'm
Yeah.
just a few years away from 50, so my time is about done. But that being said, I think what's important for wrestlers in my age range is
Mhm.
to open doors for the up and comers who deserve it. And
Absolutely.
there are a lot of guys out there who don't do that. There are a lot of
Mhm.
guys out there who are too busy spending their energy shitting on people. And I
Mhm.
will take a moment to do that. I'm going to shit on all the wrestlers in my age range or older who do nothing but sit around as curmudgeons and just want to shit on everything that isn't they're in their narrow view of what wrestling is. You know what? If you're watching me, if you're listening to me, if you hear about this, I hope you know I'm talking about you. You guys are washed up has-beens. You know what? I know what I am. I know my limitations. I know my age. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that wrestling is even better when I leave it than it was when I entered it. That is my
Yeah.
goal. At the end of the day, I want wrestling to be even better when I leave it than when I entered it. So,
Right.
if you can't do that and you're stuck in your narrow little world, in your tunnel vision, then
Mm.
you are a poison to indie wrestling. You are a poison to professional wrestling.
They
Professional
are.
wrestling grows.
They
Yeah,
are.
there are
And it
so
goes
many
by.
varieties. There are,
It goes. It goes through Twitter. It goes through social media. Big. You
exactly.
know how it is, and you see how it is. You've seen the Leo Rush make mistakes. You've seen all these other guys make. And
Here's the thing: we all
yeah.
do that. We're
Yep.
human. We are not flawless. We're not immune to mistakes. You know what? When
Actually,
guys
just
like,
actually, let me just
right.
bring up Leo. Let's bring up Leo Rush. Actually, just recently got was on MTV's an episode of MTV's it's some new spy show. It was pretty cool, Challenge or something. And also he is in the lead role. He's going to be in the Power Ranger movie. My gosh,
Oh,
like
holy crap!
yeah,
Damn, that's awesome. Well,
that
but
is
that's just you take advantage of all the opportunities and all the openings available to you because some doors may not be conventional. Just because it's not the direct route from point A to point B doesn't mean that door can't eventually get you to point B. So
right.
you have to be open-minded about the situations and review it from a standpoint of it may not directly get me there, but can it help the journey? If it can help the journey, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. You cannot overlook that. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Never evaluate if the opportunity is the fastest way to the top. Look at it as does it add versus does it hurt? That's important. And even beyond that, there are so many different flavors of wrestling because at the end of the day, you can have the best technical match. You can have two spot monkeys going at it, but if you have five fans out there, have you
Like
really accomplished
like
anything?
let's
However,
put it. Yep. Go ahead. I'll pull into this right now. Put it this
no,
way,
well,
right
I
now.
mean, I was going to say, things like
Yeah.
kaiju. Kaiju wrestling. It has its place because it entertains. It does something different. It brings in people who otherwise would not have been brought in. And at the
It's
end of the day, if you expand your reach, you win.
happy. Also, if you notice right, and which is really what wrestling should have, is a pre-show to these people who are getting spotlighted, like AEW right now does the dark matches, and
Yeah.
it's on right now. Like, oh my God, there's people like there's some talent that are just coming in. Like there's
Hmm.
some talent that we've seen who are out there who need to be seen
Oh
and are
my gosh. Did you see the NAWA pay-per-view on Fight TV this weekend, the Rumble or whatever?
No.
I heard Beastman was kicking ass on there. Dear friend of mine, in fact, one of the guys responsible for helping elevate me, the Amazing Velvet. I talked to him on Saturday night, and he was watching that NAWA pay per view, and he's like, "Holy shit, that Beastman that you were talking." Because I mean, I've wrestled Beastman in several matches in the last few years, and I love the guy. I love the gimmick. I love the guy. Really, really good guy. I can't say enough about him. And the fact that he looked like a boss out there was great. He is one of the most mobile big men you'll find out there. And here's one thing that's important. There are a lot of big men out there who are just big for the sake of being big. Beastman may be big, but Beastman actually puts in work in cardio. He actually can go in a match. He can work. He can go in a match, and he looked like a boss in that Rumble. And I thought that was fantastic for his exposure, because that's a guy who I believe can do great things. I mean, I've been on shows. He's beaten Logan Creed. He has been in a match with Billy Gunn. He's been on shows that I've personally wrestled in. And
shout out to Logan. Shout out to Logan, man. He's doing pretty good these days. I'm seeing.
Oh yeah. Well, and I was going to say, I've been on a show with Logan Creed, and this is after I left the South. If in 2021 I'll probably wrestle a couple more times down south, and I'm predicting I'll be on at least one more show with Logan, who's also a boot and heel guy. So props to our sponsor, Boot and Heel. But Michael Judas, who was Murphy on the old TNA. Dude, definitely major props to him. Hey, I got chokeslammed by Madman Fulton in a Rumble last year. So that was one of my personal highlights of 2019, in addition to tagging with Tito Santana against Lanny Poffo.
Good old Chico Santana. Yes.
Oh,
good old
I'm impressed by Tito Santana. I mean, he's like 60-something years old. He was in excellent shape for a guy in his 60s. And I was looking, holy crap, you're in good shape, dude.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I remember going, I think it was like 2011, or no, actually AEW was doing a pay-per-view. It was doing their first pay-per-view in Chicago at the time. Like they were doing their Chicago pay-per-view. I went to the Pro Wrestling Tees store because Game Changer Wrestling, my GCW was in town versus Freelance Underground. And I walk into and there's Tito saying, "Hey, hi David, how are you?" He knew who I was. He knew, like, he knows his fans. Isn't that amazing? Because like growing up, and because he's a New Jersey native. Come on. I mean, he knows where he is. He's an area. I remember that. I think I have a promo with him from it.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah, we were gonna hang out, but for the rest of the day, but we left. We had a 12-hour ride back home.
Oh man. Yeah.
On a Sunday.
A really good guy. Actually, I'm going to name drop him just to recommend him for a future podcast, The Amazing Velvet. So The Amazing Velvet is one of the guys responsible for helping elevate me personally. So before I was Happy Hour, I was Be Furious. I will say probably the first 15 years of my pro wrestling career, I was getting the crap beat out of me because I could take a beating. I could take a legendary beating. Even now, I can still take quite a bit of a beating, and I jobbed out. I mean, I've literally wrestled 1,000. I mean, literally 1,000 matches in my career, and I've probably lost about 850 of them. But that being said, part of it was I was good.
But now you look back, and you know what? 2021 is going to be a new record for you. You're going to set your record. You're going to try to set your record. Really.
Every new match is just upending my record. But no, in all seriousness, if there was something that I could really do, it's, I could both take a beating and show everybody that I'm taking a legendary beating. But that being said, the Amazing Velvet was very involved with helping, getting me to another tier. He trained under Susan Green and Judy Martin. And they beat the shit out of him. But he's taken on a lot of folks, a lot of legends from the old days. He's the type of guy that he shows up to a place, and if Ric Flair is there, Ric Flair looks over at him and rolls his eyes. That's the Amazing Velvet in a nutshell.
There you go. You'll have to set me up with that soon. We'll have to get
Oh,
that guy.
absolutely. No, I'll get you connected because his name's David too, obviously. So,
Right.
but
Always,
no, I
always,
mean,
David. Always a David.
yeah, no telling. There's always a David. But it's just when I look back on all the different elements of wrestling, on the things I've done and the things I like to do, things I want to do. I mean,
And now
especially with
and then now you see it on TV and what's going on.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, when I look at Impact or AEW, and
Look
I
who's
see
back. What was your reaction when Sting came back?
Sting came back, I have mixed feelings, to be honest. Well,
Yeah.
mind you, I feel like WWE kind of did him dirty. Uh, I feel like he didn't get his just due in WWE, truth be told. But at the same time, I'm just like, you know what? That was probably the time to close the chapter. That being said, I can understand as a person where I'm at in my
Yeah.
situation, I can understand where he's coming from, that he wants to kind of go out strong or finish up strong. And I respect that. So, I can't, I personally can't criticize that. I mean, pandemic kind of shut down the way I wanted to finish up. I mean, I'm going to disclose on here that I was hoping to retire Mania weekend this past April. I had a couple of bookings in Tampa Mania weekend, and because of pandemic, that closed down. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? The most fantastic way to retire is Mania weekend. It's kind of a pinnacle for some of us
Yeah.
in indie wrestling who are
That's
not quite, going to
no.
TV level. But that would have been an excellent, excellent scenario. And my match, I was going to tag with another boot and heel guy against Brothers in Arms, and that I was thinking to myself, holy crap, that would have been a fantastic way to close out my career. But that didn't happen. That's okay. Such is life, and we just have to adapt. What I'm hoping is 2021, we have a new normal. We can kind of get back into gear, and I can finish up strong because I'm so happy you got to see me in character, see me in action firsthand. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I think if I have to kind of summarize it, I hate to summarize Happy Hour, but I feel like Happy Hour is the everyman. The everyman always trying to claw his way up after a hard day at work. I want to have a beer and, do my thing. And you know what? All of us have something we want to fight against or something we want to fight for. And all it takes is a couple of doses of liquid courage and we're ready to take it on.
Well, this isn't real liquid courage right here, though.
I'll say that's liquid. I'm putting on an apron and chopping up the vegetables for dinner.
Or I could drink this instead. How's that? All right.
Hey, you know what? We all need our caffeine hits. In the morning, I'm all about the cold brew coffee, and in the PM, I'm all about the beer. And
Yeah.
I'll give a quick plug to my friends at Abjuration Brewing. I'm having the smoothie style sour, the peanut butter and jelly smoothie beer that they made. So we'll see how that goes. But I love the folks at Abjuration. They're a very, very small brewery, small system, all
Smell it.
about.
See if it smells like peanut butter.
Yes, actually, I smell a lot of peanut butter.
No
Actually,
kidding.
it smells
Yeah.
like peanuts. Smells like
That's-
peanuts. No joke.
Oh wow.
Smells like peanuts, and like the finish has a little hint of jelly on it.
Yeah.
But
Let's
yeah,
see what the
so
color looks like. Let's see what the color looks like.
oh, the color is kind of
Yeah.
light,
Yeah, you could tell.
but yeah, I definitely taste or I'm sorry, I smell the peanuts here,
Peanuts. Yeah.
and I figure
Try it.
while my vessel is settling in, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Take a dab. Yeah.
I definitely Oh wow, I get a good jelly note on the finish. I get it. I get it. It tastes. This nose
Wow.
is like peanut butter, but the taste is like jelly.
Who would have ever known peanut butter and jelly beer? My gosh, really? You think about it. Like, really, what do you
Oh
think? Gosh,
man,
get into the
DMR.
drinking.
When you get the
Yeah.
stream or the DVD of IGB 7, I actually busted out a peanut butter ale from Lancaster Brewing in the match.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, that was some good peanut butter beer for what
Well,
it's worth.
go for the full taste of it now. Let's see how it really is. Now you can really, right? Just see how it really, if it does have
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it because on the nose I'm getting the peanut butter, and on the taste I'm getting the jelly, so it comes together. Oh no, absolutely. On a different note, in fact, give me about 10 seconds here.
10 seconds, 9, 8, 7.
Hey,
All right.
hey, no speed counting here. Where is
What?
that? Where is
I'm
that
not a
damn
referee.
speed?
I'm not a referee, so well, I can start counting. 1, 2, 3, 10 minutes left.
Damn.
9, 8, 7, 6. He's coming to the ring. Hold on.
Fridge is so full of beer that
Hey guys, how are you? I'm going to say hello to David. David's watching the. Yes, David. Actually, he's in the fridge right now, getting a beer out of the fridge. So, here he comes.
No. The worst part is my fridge has so much beer that
Yeah.
I couldn't find the beer I was looking for because the same brewery, Abjuration, they made a Skittles beer.
No.
It had a strong, like sour Skittles taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a Skittles beer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's David typing? Can you see the message? I can.
Wait, what's up?
Adam plugs the beer. Yes, he does. No, he's showing messages.
Well, I mean, I don't just plug my own, but I also plug friends from the community.
Can you see that?
Boot and Heel. Hey, Dave, I already plugged Boot and Heel twice.
Yeah, we're not done.
So I'm the plug for my sponsor too.
Indeed.
Oh, well, actually, one thing I'm going to do from now on for whatever intergender bonanzas I attend. So what I did this past intergender bonanza, I actually offered like a full-on merch and picture pack. So I had the Boot and Heel Super Indy card game expansion set, and I also brought beer. And I basically what I did was I was selling autographed trading cards and the expansion set, and I gave a free beer to anyone 21 and up.
Right.
And
Oh,
it was
this guy.
basically
You're
it was
welcome.
like a $25 super VIP pack. So you got all of that, a couple of autographed cards, and a beer on top of that if you were over 21, if you were 21 and up. If you were under 21, I had a non-alcoholic flavored seltzer handy. In fact, I was drinking one of them earlier. I had a kiwi watermelon non-alcoholic seltzer. So that way, those under 21 could also get a beverage and toast with happy hour.
You're welcome. Oh, there's David. Then thank you.
Let me also say, David Rolano, dude is only like 25 years old, and he is way ahead of his years. The dude hustles,
He
and
does.
one of the things that I shared with him is the fact that you get out of life what you put into it. So hustle or you don't, but what you get is going to be based on what you put in. And don't get me wrong, it's a combination of hard work and intelligence. If you do something that doesn't work, but you keep doing something that doesn't work over and over again, it's like you're trying to get milk from a tree. You're not going to get milk from a tree.
No.
Or if you're trying to milk a bull, no matter how hard you try, or that's not milk.
No, it's not.
So at the end of the day, you have to put in the work, but you also have to know what you're putting work into. And if something is not working, you have to be able to pivot. And I think real business acumen comes from knowing when to cut losses and knowing when to pivot. Because if you're bleeding, you don't just keep bleeding. You have to understand how to either stop the bleeding or understand that, hey, this blood was lost. I understand the purpose. I learned from it, and I pivot. I've milked a few bulls in life. Is that rural North Florida?
Oh man, David's
No,
on a
but
roll.
I mean, frankly, I'm approaching 50 years old, and I learned a lot of
I'm
things.
climbing that ladder. Come on, I'm 43. I'm climbing there. All right.
I've learned a lot of things the hard way. And I mean, for anyone who wants to say, hey, dude, you're brilliant, you know, I don't know that I'm brilliant. I just learned 998 ways not to do something. So, by the 999th time, I have an idea, and by the 1,000th time, I'm successful. So, it is what it is, but I had to learn the hard way. Fortunately, none of the hard lessons I learned have ruined me. And I think that's the important thing. I try to make every mistake a learning experience
That's
because
right.
people are going to
Exactly.
make mistakes. The point is, if you keep making the same mistake over and over again, you're a fucking idiot.
You're a failure. Yep. You're a failure. Yeah.
That's a true failure. Failing doesn't make you a failure. It's failing the same way over and over again that makes you a true failure.
Yeah, like when we failed school, a class of school that we didn't really like. Yeah.
It's funny. That
Yeah.
being said, I'm not above that.
I,
I actually,
hey,
I
I'll tell you
before
what.
I got my bachelor's degree, it took me 5 universities and 230 credits before I got my bachelor's degree. So I actually flunked out of a school. I was, I played college baseball at Georgia Tech a million years ago, and I partied
Million.
my ass off. I
Million.
partied my ass off, and I got dumped for academics or lack of. So, but I learned my lesson. I learned the hard way. I mean, and the importance of that is that's how I got into wrestling. Because when I flunked out, I was in a lurch. I was stuck in Georgia with no idea what to do next. So that's actually how I ended up in wrestling. Because some guys are like, oh, you have an incredible build. You're a great athlete. I think you could do stuff in wrestling, and that's how I got into wrestling. So, it's not the conventional route. I admit, I'm going to completely admit I didn't get into wrestling out of passion. I got into wrestling because, I was doing a bunch of odd jobs to make a living. And a guy, a promoter for a low level indie there was just like, dude, you want to make some money? You're big, you're well built, you can do athletic things. And that's how I got in.
Yeah. Now look at you at this age and
And
still
now I actually have a passion for wrestling. I have a passion for helping make it better. I have a passion for helping young up and comers get the right tools and the right knowledge to be better. And those are the folks that I'm going to help. There are guys out there that think they know everything. And you know what? It is what it is. But if you believe you know everything, I'm almost 50 years old. I've been in the industry 25 years. I'm nowhere near learning everything. In fact, I'm plugging the Amazing Velvet again. The Amazing Velvet has, he's probably forgotten more things than I've ever learned in wrestling. And, the dude was key for me establishing a scenario. Holy crap, Ruber, you're there?
wow.
Ruber is such a cool guy. Ruber is such a cool guy. John Ruber is a friend of mine from the local beer scene here, and I've shared many a beer with him. In fact, one of our mutual friends, Christian Dunn, who I mentioned earlier, he lives in Philly, and Christian has attended the last couple of IGBs. So that's a guy. It's great. Just the fact that Christian, such a nice guy, really, really nice guy, and I love his support of IGB. In fact, Christian was the dude. The show that you were there, IGB 6. Christian was the one who brought the dual hose beer bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Christian.
We're gonna have to come. You know what? Happy, we have to come up with a plan for like the. We have to figure out like a cool like beer contraption. I'm thinking we have to think. I think we can come up with something. I think we can come up with something stupid that we can make to get our minds to it. I think as a gimmick to bring to the ring.
Dude, I think it would be incredible, or at the very least, what I'll do, Intergender Bonanza, the next one I'm predicting is going to be middle of spring. What I'm actually going to look at is brewing a beer that will be specific to the occasion. And I will bring a good bit of that beer so that way we can party with it. If people want to purchase autographed happy hour trading cards and get the VIP package with a free beer, provided you're 21 and up.
We check
that
IDs
will be.
Yes, we check IDs at the door. Oh.
No, well, here's the thing. Yeah, I actually was checking IDs for those who purchase the VIP package because the beer is free, but only to those 21 and up. So I am checking IDs. So if you do purchase the VIP package, you will get a free beer, provided you are 21 and up.
Maybe they'll even get a free Deathmatch Russell podcast, cozy to go along with it or something. Well,
there we go. In fact, Rolano,
yes,
let's make a boot and heel Deathmatch Russell happy hour. Cozy as an idea. That might be pretty cool. If nothing else, I can promote it. I can promote it at the brewery. You can promote it on the podcast.
Absolutely. Oh, one side your side, one side your side. Yeah.
We'll call it a collaboration effort. It'll be a boot and heel collaboration effort.
Mm-hmm. All right, David. That sounds like a plan.
Here's the thing. I know David loves all this business talk because we're exploring not just how to be fun, talk about the business, but we're also looking at how to build brands. And I think it's important because I'll say this. It's funny. Just so that little things don't get lost, I want to point out that the production value of this podcast is important. I've done so many podcasts over the years, so many, and not many have this level of production. You actually take the time to create this dual frame, and I think that's important because that kind of takes it a step above a guy who's just basically doing what amounts to a Facebook Live interview. And also, it's important the fact that you have proper studio mic, you're using proper AV equipment because you take your art seriously. There are guys out there with podcasts who don't put in the effort into the production that you do.
So much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I think, just in the grand scheme of
what? I could cut us off right now, but we got time. We're gonna run until 10 o'clock. How's that?
I have nowhere else to be.
I have to wake up tomorrow for work, but
right.
Or no, 2 more days.
Seriously, I think it's important to recognize people in general who take their art seriously. And that's important. Whatever you do, whatever your vocation, whatever hobby, interest, art, or work that you do, when you take it seriously, I think it's important to recognize those who do, because you know what? It's kind of like the difference between an Indy and a Shindy. Those who take it seriously versus those who don't. And I think it's important to recognize those who do, because when I look at your production, you look like you take your art seriously. And that's why I like coming here, because I feel like, what, if you take it seriously and if I take it seriously, it becomes something meaningful and not just, okay, this is a random hobby that will reach 4 viewers.
Actually, you know what? We could actually get more people on this as well. I can actually there's 10 people could actually get out.
Holy crap. You know what? A future idea. Rolano, if you're listening, we'll do a boot and heel podcast with a bunch of boot and heel wrestlers too. I think for down the road, I think
Yes.
that'll be a great opportunity, especially if we get a proper boot and heel related indie wrestling event together. I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Well, 2021, I think something's coming for
Mhm.
somebody in boot and heel. We know that, and I can't spill on it, but we won't.
That's okay. I'm going to give a brief shout out to my boys Skrilla the Great and Zero Gravity AJ Daniels. Skrilla from Skrilladelphia.
Yes, man, what a great
And
guy.
also Zero Gravity AJ Daniels. And, funny story. So if
You know
I
what?
remember correctly,
He had difficulties in space. You know that? He was on the podcast. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
So AJ Daniels, I believe he's trained by Al Snow. And here's a funny story, just to be tangential. So 3 years ago, I actually used to work for Duquesne Light here in Pittsburgh, and one of my coworkers there, he was wrestler CC Sonic back in the 90s, who also he trained under Al Snow and D'Lo Brown in Ohio. And he was an indie wrestler for a couple of years back in the 90s. So I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, oh man, I was a coworker with a guy who trained under Al Snow and D'Lo Brown. How about that?
Yeah, and just think he sells T-shirts and makes a lot of products nowadays. Shout out to him.
And now he's an IT programmer at the light company. Go figure.
What else we got? Let's see.
Well, let's see. I mean,
did you watch the what is it? Pay-per-view? WWE?
TLC, not yet. I'm probably gonna watch it. Probably what's today? Tuesday, probably Thursday night. I'm gonna watch it because Thursday night on my calendar is empty, so that's a good time to catch up. But I admit I haven't watched a lot of WWE programming in the last couple of years specifically. I've watched it. The reason I've watched AEW is because wrestlers I've been on shows with are on AEW. I mean, wrestlers that I've been on shows with the last 3 years are on AEW. And that's how I watched. Mind you, I've been watching some NXT or some, Raw Underground. Like Raw Underground, I watched a couple because Kekoa was on it, and I've been on a couple of shows with Kekoa. Super nice guy. I like Kekoa a lot, and because he was on it, I watched it. NXT I've watched because guys I've been on shows with years ago have been on it, like John Schuyler. I've been on shows with John Schuyler in South Carolina back in 2014, 2015. So, you know what? That makes it relevant to me.
I know. And to see guys like Augustus Gray or Green, Anthony Green, Anthony Green. Oh my God, guy from he came from a lot of companies that we've seen, and and he's got the part for it,
But that's just it. I guess part of it is just where the personal attachments are. Especially when I see like a guy like Wheeler Yuta. I was there. I was physically there when he graduated from wrestling school down in Myrtle Beach in 2014. I was at the show. I was on the show when he graduated from wrestling school.
Let's give I hope she's doing good tonight. Let's give a shout out to Layla Hirsch.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Layla Hirsch
because she's on the ring tonight at AEW versus
nice
on a dark match. Yeah, you know who she is. She's been in Combat Zone, and she's a real tough competitor.
Yeah, I have some familiarity with folks who've been on CZW, so that definitely is where that comes from. But
Well,
it's fun.
I know so many other names. We could go on and on and on.
Oh gosh, but I mean that's just it. I look back and I've had the privilege to be on shows with people who have done great things. I mean, people who are either already established or who are up and coming. I've been on a number of shows with people who are already established. One of my favorite people, I'm going to give him a little plug, Maestro, Papa Stro. Dude is one of the nicest people I've ever met. In fact, back in, I think it was 2018, I shared an Airbnb with him. And dude is so nice that he's the type of guy who will thank you twice because he's not sure if he remembered to thank you the first time. And also, he and I, at the Airbnb, we were up till 3 in the morning, just chatting about wrestling stories before we ended up passing out. And also, after the show, when we went to our after show dinner, he and I did the kid and play dance together at the freaking restaurant, which was hilarious.
Oh God, you can imagine the road stories that we would have if we did it. Oh my God, David, I think we need a documentary.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the funny thing,
What?
the road trips and road stories are some of the best parts.
They are.
I've got hundreds of road stories, traveling with people that are just, way out there or, just are beyond belief in terms of the way things happened. And I will say, the Amazing Velvet, when you eventually have him on the show, he will be able to tell you some incredible road stories. And in fact, Velvet, he still keeps in touch with guys like Hector Guerrero and Barbarian and Stro. And here's a guy that I actually was in the ring with that is worth noting. Big Game James. So Big Game James actually appeared on NXT, and he was actually on an episode of Raw because he was the cheeseburger as one of Adam Rose's rosebuds.
Oh, the rosebuds. There were so many people that we saw that we knew were with other
Oh yeah,
rosebuds.
Billy Brash was the pirate. I'm trying to remember. I recall several people who got to be rosebuds.
Yeah, a couple of wrestlers from Combat Zone. Or
Mm-hmm.
did you remember that Kit Osborne? Kit was in the
Yeah.
scene on. I think that was it. Rosebuds too, or something behind the scenes. He was on a. They're all in the background at a party or something. There's always a party scene, and you look at. There's people that you know.
Oh man, no, it's amazing. Here's a funny thing that mind you, I marked out for all of 1.5 seconds, but I still did mark out. So when I looked at my notifications, I mean, mind you, I've actually refereed on a show. She was on Mickey Knuckles. So I saw a notification
Shout out to
today.
Mickey. Shout out to Mickey.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've been at an after party with Mickey because I refereed that show, but I saw a notification today that said Mickey Knuckles was following Happy Hour, and I was like, what?
Wow, that's awesome. That's good. Good.
No, but actually that night, that wrestling show, that was a women's wrestling show, and the after party, let's see, Giselle Shaw was there. Was Sue Young there? Was that the show that Sue Young took on Mickey Knuckles? Might have been. Savannah Evans was there. Ronnie Nicole was there. So I actually have a picture of me, hanging with Ron. I've known Ronnie for a number of years because we used to run in similar circles down south back like 2014, 2015. And, but yeah, it was, on a different note, just to cut out, Rocky 3 is on right now, and the scene with Thunder Lips is on right now. So,
Oh man, yo, hey, you know what? Nothing wrong with when that movie first came out, we loved it. We loved it. Like it's
absolutely, dude. Clubber Lang was boss. My prediction, Pain.
yeah. I was excited when this, I went first time I was a kid, or when I went to the city, Philadelphia, to see the statue. I climbed the steps, but then you go back, then future later, it's down below.
Oh my gosh.
Because they moved it,
DMR, I'll say this. Podcasts in general, I have so much fun on. I'm all over the place. There's no question. I will jump from place to place. It's like I have ADD, but I have so much fun on podcasts because, I'm literally being myself, talking about anything and everything,
Absolutely.
wrestling or not. And I, you know, happy hour is all about having a good time. And that's what I like to do. Every time I'm given an opportunity, having a good time is the most important thing to me. Whether I'm in the ring, out the ring, delivering promos on podcasts, having a good time. Because if I'm having a good time, other people feel like they want to have a good time too.
Absolutely.
Man.
I mean, it's like your friend John was here, and he's still here. I think hanging out. That's good. It's amazing to get people that you don't need to pay attention to podcasts and listen.
Oh man, no, I mean seriously, John is such a cool dude. He is one of the friendliest people in the greater Pittsburgh area. A super, super friendly guy. I mean, this is a guy that, random strangers can meet and they'll feel like their life is better for having met him. That's the kind of guy he is. He is, and he's the type of guy that will. Heck, I think it was last week. He randomly, I was just kind of sending a message just to check on him because pandemic and all, everybody is having some degree of difficulty because life is not life, to be honest. And then he called me, and we were just shooting the shit for almost an hour, and that's just how it is. You like who you like. You have a good time with people who just have that naturally positive energy. Dude just has such good positive energy around people that hey, Ruber, I'm putting you over in a wrestling podcast. Go figure, right?
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh man, no, but just in general, I think when we have the wrestling and beer festival, Ruber is absolutely going to be there. And like I said, I'm targeting 16 breweries, and each brewery is
Wait.
each brewery that will be there will represent at least one of the wrestlers or tag teams that will be there. That is my whole goal with shaping that whole festival and wrestling tournament. And whoever the women's tournament winner is, whoever the tag team scramble winner is, whoever the men's winner is, we're all going to be drinking beer out of our championship trophies.
Imagine that a beer champion. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. A belt. With
Dude, it'll be like Stanley Cup style, dude.
Really
drinking out of the Stanley Cup.
Actually, no, it'd be like Ogre on the Nerds.
Nerds.
I had a meme of that a couple days ago. I sent somebody that meme, that just him chugging out of that big. What a movie now. See, this is what I like about wrestling. We can flip it around and talk about whatever hell we like to talk about. In movies, there's a movie that just catches your eye and you're like, oh god, these guys are just dweeby nerds from like a city and this like going to college and just being goofballs trying to get laid. And
man. Dude, what about Ogre as Jackson in Bloodsport?
Oh yeah. I forgot about
that. Oh, dude. And that's the worst part. I can talk about wrestling all day. I can talk about classic movies all day. I can talk about baseball and football all day. I mean, I'm just all about I'm all about embracing what's enjoyable,
Yeah, it's like watching the reruns of fucking Home Alone. Come on.
Funny thing about Home Alone, what was it? I was watching an episode of Family Guy earlier today, and they were like, "Here's a clip where here's what Home Alone would be with competent criminals."
Oh, that would be.
Oh, dude, it's a very short clip, but if you go on YouTube, Family Guy, Home Alone, competent criminals, you'll crack up, dude.
All right. Give me something to look at. Okay.
Oh, dude. But yeah, no, just in general. I mean,
I miss like Home Alone. There we go. Lost in New York. I would be. Christmas. I would be there in the city.
yeah, I was in high school when Home Alone came out. So, well, I mean, I grew up in New York City, so I get all about the whole Lost in New York thing to some degree. But that being said, I'm just like, man, you got to get some competent criminals in there.
Yeah. No. But what else we got? Happy. I think we could be here all night, but I think I want to.
Oh, dude, we have so many things that we can talk about forever on. At the same time, we have to kind of be responsible with our time. I mean, you can kind of be less responsible with the drinks, and then before you know it, you become less responsible with the time. But no, I can talk about wrestling. I can talk about movies. I can talk about beer. Heck, I can even talk about whiskey too, because don't get me wrong, I love me some beer, but I'm more cautious with whiskey because whiskey is a good way to get blackout drunk if you don't control yourself. So I am a connoisseur of whiskey. I have a full cabinet of various whiskeys, bourbons.
Fine.
I'm all about bourbon and rye whiskey.
And
Yeah,
fine.
I'm all about the bourbon and rye whiskey. So yes, I have, I would say, roughly 40 different bourbons and rye whiskeys in my cabinet. So I'm all about that. I also, mind you, while not full on connoisseur, I do enjoy cigars. I'm all about a cigar and whiskey. And so, short little plugs to Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, Pittsburgh Cigar Club, Pittsburgh Craft Beer Society, and Fueled by Hops, who is actually going to be the partner that I'm going to try to work with if we have a new normal in terms of putting together a beer and wrestling festival. So shout out to Ryan Galliato and Fueled by Hops. So,
Hey, David, listening? David, are you listening? Boot and Heel Cigars. Labels.
Well, that being said, if David comes into town, we can definitely, especially through Pittsburgh Cigar Club, get him in touch with cigar reps here for specific brands. In fact, in Pittsburgh, over by the stadiums, there's a Rocky Patel bar. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Burn by Rocky Patel. Rocky Patel is a cigar brand, and he has his own line of cigars. So, absolutely.
Everything. You're everything, man, tonight. We're like putting it all on a list. We should write it down. Oh, you'll write it down. I'm sure you'll put it in your head.
Well, also, I'm glad David's listening too. David understands where I'm coming from. We're both very, very enterprising individuals. So we're definitely going to help make things happen. Also, I'm going to give a little plug, mind you, a little ahead of the game yet, but 2021 Craft Threads Clothing Company or the Craft Threads clothing line will be coming into play, and our focus is going to be providing threads for craft spirits and craft organizations. So, given that I'm personally in the craft beer space, I'm actually going to work on establishing the brand for providing merchandise to craft breweries, craft distilleries, and other things that fall under the craft umbrella. And I think it's important, especially for specific or niche industries, to have a reliable source because, I mean, there are a whole bunch of names out there that occupy the clothing space, but it doesn't have a personalized touch. And everybody ends up running into issues and don't feel like they're being catered to at a personalized level. And I think it's important for people in niche industries to be able to rely on places that understand both your industry and will cater to your needs instead of feeling like a generic number. Because I think that's a general problem with dealing with large scope and scale vendors in general, because they don't care about the niche.
You're right. But let's say this, Happy. I'm
Uh-huh.
tired. I'm ready for bed. That first drink got me. That claw knocked me out.
Oh man,
Oh,
you got to face the claw.
Von Claw, Von Air.
No, I'm talking about the Jim Carrey liar, liar, the claw.
Oh, the claw. Oh yeah.
But then, of course, if you're talking about the Von Erich Von Claw, or
Yeah.
wait, no, I take it back. The old NES game, Giant Panther, the Iron Claw.
Wow. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to do like an episode of just talk all TV and gaming, just for the hell of it. Shit's a game. I don't play games like I used to, but we could talk about old school.
Well, actually, we'll focus on nostalgia, and we'll call it the Member Berries podcast.
I like that. It's catchy.
Member.
Fans, you don't know what you're gonna get with this guy. See?
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's just it. If I'm on a podcast and it's not fun, I must be sick or something.
Right. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh, these are old comments. See,
That's
I'm losing it. Happy. What else we got going on? Nothing. Right? Just
Well, nothing at the moment. We're basically trying to figure out what the new normal is for 2021, especially in the wrestling scene. But that being said, optimistically speaking, I'm hoping for a couple of IGBs that I will be attending and bringing the beer and bringing the fights for. I'm also expecting to wrestle in South Carolina at least a couple of times next year, maybe Georgia. So I'm keeping that open, keeping those options open, because let's be frank, I'm getting old and I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it, especially from my 20s and early 30s when I did a lot of hardcore stuff. So my body is really feeling it. So I think 2021 really should be when I consider winding it down.
yeah. Take it easy.
While I could still walk, because the last thing I want to do is cripple myself for life.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, you know what? Let's just have a drink before we
Yes,
leave.
sir.
One last but we're gonna toast to New Year's too. We'll be back for New Year's too. Party it up.
Let's do it.
To a good guest and a good person and a good friend. Here's to you.
I appreciate you, DMR. I appreciate you, and I will plug you every chance I get. And I hope to bring you some more good candidates for a great podcast.
So what do we got here? Boom, boom, boom. Boot and heel. Beer logos will coming soon after that. You know that? Really, more logos to be added to that.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. I got the hat going. 412.
412 repping.
Yes, and the tap room is literally like 4 blocks away from Heinz Field.
Man, good night of talking like always.
Uh-huh.
And wrestling and wrestling and wrestling and wrestling and wrestling and wrestling
And a little bit of nostalgia mixed in with wrestling
and boot and heel
and boot and heel wrestling. Oh, I can't wait for the stream and DVD to come out for the latest IGB. The fact that I believe I got there was a "This is wrestling" chant when I was in the ring. First time in 1,000 matches. This is wrestling.
And I had to miss it. God damn it.
Dude,
Son of a
sorry.
bitch.
It will always get better. That much I feel like every IGB that I attend, it always gets better.
And it will be better and better. Because you know why? Me and you have some ideas coming too. So stay tuned, fans. We have some maybe we'll do some giveaways and stuff too. I got an idea or two.
Good stuff, folks. Good stuff.
All right.
Man.
That's it. We're done. Christmas is over. I'm done. I'm wrapping it up. I'm done for the season. That's Natural Podcast is breaking his boundaries. It's over. No, I did pretty good for the. I'm just taking the Christmas break like we all should. You know, it's gonna got my couple days off here next week. I'm looking forward to being off for the Christmas break. That's it.
Have another ho. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I'll be right back here figuring out. Actually, I'll be probably putting up my content that I really want to get my audio content out. I've been far behind, so I'll be putting the audio versions out to the public again. You know, I need to get back onto doing that because I know that I haven't done that, but I've had the audio out. Well, the videos, YouTube has been going up, so that's a plus, and that's you know.
Good deal, my friend. Well, if I don't talk to you before 2021,
I'll talk to you. I know we'll talk.
Oh, well then. So much for my wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but I get to also talk to you before that.
Merry Christmas. You know, what do we do if we had? What if we were wrestlers? We had to do it. Imagine if there's a wrestling Christmas movie. Could you imagine? Like, who would be involved? Oh God, everybody.
The gobbledygooker.
Yes, and a giggity goo. Yeah.
Gobbledygooker versus Eugene.
Ogre comes back from Revenge of the Nerds and has a.
Oh no! Wait! No! I'm sorry. No! I'm sorry. Take it back. The Christmas creature. There we go. How's that for nostalgia? The Christmas creature.
Actually, let's have Stone Cold versus Ogre.
No, we got to get Glenn Jacobs dressed as the Christmas creature.
Absolutely. well, happy. Let's call it a night, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thanks again, sir. I appreciate you.
Appreciate everybody else for listening, and let's have a good night and happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers to you guys. We're done with this Mr. Peanut Butter Jelly beer for the first time ever. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast. Until then, I'll sign you out. I can look at this. I click you out. Watch this. It's like, hey, oh, there he goes. That's stuff. Anything, right? We could take to that slow motion now, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's tonight. Call it a night. Good night, everybody. Excellent. Right from Bill and Ted's. I didn't watch the newer one. What did you see that?
I didn't see the newer one yet. I will eventually see that.
I know. I got time. I will watch it. Movies I want to see, I still want to watch, you know?
Yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do.
All right. Well, let's call it a night, Happy. Good night, everybody. We're done for real.
Good night, folks.
Everybody, have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year's. I'll be back after the new year for the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast as we break in the new year, 2021. Closing out right now, podcast. Deathmatch Wrestle podcast season for Christmas is officially over. Fans, I want to say thank you for all that who have been listening to me and keep on following and listening to my podcast, as 2021 will be a great year of wrestling once again. Wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. Fans, like, share, subscribe. Check out Happy Hour. Fans, get to a show. IG Bonanza is coming back, I believe, number 8. We don't have a confirmed date yet, but stay tuned. IG Bonanza number 8, and so much more. Go see and support Happy Hour at a IGB Bonanza and elsewhere at a wrestling show near you. Fans, make sure you pick up his merchandise on bootandheel.com. Just type in Happy Hour on Boot and Heel. And don't forget to type in on Boot and Heel while you're at it, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, for your merchandise as well. T-shirts, hoodies, masks, this and that. A shout out to bootandheel.com. Shout out to David at bootandheel.com. Fans, have a good night, everybody, and see you next time on the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. We'll talk wrestling after the new year. Good night, everybody.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchRussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at PodcastCity.net, Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Hey, wrestling fans, check out bootandheel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Russell Podcast as well. www.bootandheel.com.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we did.
No, it's absolutely great when we can just kind of blow through and feel like